Hello and namaste to all my fellow gardeners. Urban gardening, we are well familiar with this term these days. Now it's nothing but managing our waste, where it can be a kitchen waste or the green waste or the dry waste that we produce in the gardens or in the kitchen. This is how I manage my waste. I use this open system. I tried using the bottle method and the closed methods, but that was not sufficient, or I could not manage all my waste. So I got up with this 2 by 2 grow bag method. So in this, I have tried to maintain the carbon and nitrogen ratio. That means if I'm taking like 1 kg of wet waste, all the vegetable peels or fruit peels and all, then I'll make sure that I take around 3 to 4 kgs of dry leaves. So that's how if this is maintained, so it will not cause any of the problem of the flies and the excess of water drainage or other insects. Now to get proper compost, the ratio of wet waste to dry waste should be 1:3. Okay. Now next important aspect in making of the compost is presence of microbes. Now to this I use microbial culture to speed up the compost, also to help the growth of good bacteria. Compost speed ups, it's easy to get in online. Otherwise, if it is not available, even the very sour buttermilk is also sufficient to create the microbes. So this microbes, it helps to convert the organic waste into rich nutritious compost. This big pile of compost is around 1 year. It's a very old one. It has all the turmeric, everything, so it smells. This is the leftover part after sieving. And on this I'll be adding some of my kitchen waste. So these vegetables have dried, not completely, because sometimes have sun dried, and like layers I'll be stacking them. And this time I'll not add any of the microbes in this, because already the prepared compost I'll be layering on it, so that will have enough microbes. We'll see how the result will be. After 2 months I'll harvest this. Meanwhile, once in 10 days or 15 days, it is must to completely tilt the pile, even though it has this air ventlets, but still it is necessary. In the meanwhile process, while checking, so you'll see good amount of moisture. Even insects will be there, so don't be afraid. So they are the part of composting. They are like composting soldiers. So even after they complete the process of composting, decomposition, they'll die, and even they'll be decomposed. So no worries about it. Only it must be checked the amount of water that whether it is being too cloggy, or if it is being too wet, then more amount of greens has to be added. And see that you don't add any of the fried items or rice items, sugary substances, because they'll attract other insects like rodents, and so. And if you have access to in cow dungs, and even the dried one, you can add it. So even that will help in decomposition process, and eventually maybe you'll get the earthworms. Just now somewhere I have seen, we'll show it again. So like this completely, I'll make sure that it covers. I do add these twigs because they help in creating air spaces. So this is the harvested black gold. Yeah. Now this I'll not apply directly to the plants. We'll keep a couple of hours in the sun. Then we'll treat it with trichoderma viridi and a fungal powder and neem cake. And then I'll apply to the plants, or give it to the plants, because to avoid any of the infections or any of the disease. And in each pot, 1 handful of dose is enough. They'll give you good gold harvest. So do harvesting. It's really very satisfactory. It is correct or not, but I prefer to do this one, treating with the antifungal powder, so as to be more tension free. Okay, so this in this tub I'll be storing and treating it, and this do have drainage holes if at all any excess water enters, and that will be drained out and will not clog. Really, composting is fun to see the vegetables you added a week back are disappeared after 3 to 4 weeks. Do involve children in it. They'll just love to see that magic. I'll be treating with this trichoderma viride powder. It's like a biological fungicide. These are actually spores of the bacteria Trichoderma viride. So a natural bioinsect fungicide. So this will be in powder form. You just sprinkle it around and cover it with some more compost and leave it for another couple of weeks. And it is must to protect it with direct rainwater, and then it's good to go. Composting process, yes, it is time taking and also it is messy. Sometimes you get this all liquid excess of water. By mistake, this rainwater has entered and it has all drained out. Now when such situations happens, it is very important to tilt your pile. Drainage of leachate or the water is a sign that there is no airspace in the compost pile, so it has to be tilted once. Another benefit when we see of the compost, of course, the black gold you will get for manures for your plants. Apart from these, you'll get free plants. So this is cucumber vine. So this I got from the compost. Last but not the least, even this I should mention, even this I got from the compost pile. Tamotilla, or many names it has. This one has tomato. For this variety seeds I was searching all over, but luckily I found them through the compost. So maybe some bird droppings or don't know how. Okay, so do compost. It's really fun. Composting or decomposition, it's not a 1 day or 2 days activities or a magic that happens overnight or in a 1 week duration time. People do say that in 1 week you'll get the harvest and all, but that will not be so safe for the plants to apply directly. Decomposition has to be done with the help of bacteria and the fungi both. So these are the natural decomposers, and even the other flies and the insects, even they help in the decomposition, and the earthworms also. So they do take time. So give some time to the for the decomposition process. Now how to use this leech water? I just mix it up with normal water in the water can and give it to the soil. That's it. This is 5 liters can. In 5 liters I just dilute it and give it. At all, any of the point if I have missed, so please ask them in the comments. I'll surely try to answer them. This water to what plants I give? I mostly try to give them to the leafy vegetables or the most hardy plants, like the one, this Mexican petunia. Don't give such water to the succulents or any delicate plants. They may not handle it. To the compost pile. So the process that I have shown before, so I do it mostly in this 100 rupees tub. this one water spinach or it is called. So such hardy plants I'll give. And bougainvillea. So that has given good result. Good flowers have came. And this juhi or nityamalli. Then in one of the pot I have tried to grow the neem to make it a bonsai, to even to the cell leaves. Some of them ask that whether we can store the leachate. I would say it's not a good idea to store it because the bacteria count will increase, and if there is no movement and there is no aeration in the collected liquid, then that may lead to the development of the harmful bacteria. So it's better to just dilute it and give it to the plants as and when. So it's like a direct tonic for them.